The appetites of men, they are varied, complex, and often hidden beneath layers of societal norms and personal facades. It began, as many things do, with a hunger that gnawed at the edges of the mind, whispering dark desires that could not be easily dismissed. But this wasn't the pang of an empty stomach. It was a deeper, more insidious craving that defied logic and morality. This was something far more unsettling, a hunger that thrived in the shadows, feeding on the forbidden and the grotesque, a craving for human flesh, an urge so primal and taboo that it could only be whispered about in the darkest corners of the human psyche, a desire so taboo, so profoundly disturbing, it could only exist in the darkest corners of the human psyche. It was a hunger that society could not acknowledge, let alone understand. And in the digital abyss of the dark web, it found a home. A place where the unspeakable could be spoken, where the forbidden could be explored without fear of judgment. This is the story of Cannibal Café, an online forum where the unspeakable was discussed with chilling nonchalance, a place where the darkest desires were laid bare and the most horrifying fantasies were shared openly, a place where individuals with unthinkable appetites congregated, sharing fantasies and, in the most horrifying of cases, plotting to turn them into reality. It was a community bound by secrecy and a shared hunger that defied comprehension. It's a story that forces us to confront the darkest aspects of human nature and the unsettling power of anonymity in the digital age. The internet, with its promise of connection and knowledge, also harbors the darkest corners of the human soul. We'll delve into the chilling case of Armin Meiwes, better known as the Rotenburg Cannibal, whose gruesome act, born from a pact made on the Cannibal Café, shook the world. His story is a stark reminder of the thin line between fantasy and reality. His trial, a complex exploration of ethics, consent, and the very definition of murder, continues to spark debate. It challenges our understanding of morality and the limits of human desire. More than just a recounting of horrifying events, this is an exploration of the line between fantasy and reality in the digital age. How the anonymity of the internet blurs these lines, allowing the darkest fantasies to take root and grow. We'll examine the cultural impact of forums like Cannibal Café and grapple with the implications of online anonymity. How these digital spaces can foster communities that thrive on the forbidden and the grotesque. Buckle up, dear reader, as we descend into the heart of digital darkness, a journey that will take us to the edge of human understanding and beyond, into the abyss where the appetites of men are laid bare. The digital underbelly. To understand Cannibal Café, one must first understand the labyrinthine world it inhabited. The dark web, hidden beneath the surface of the everyday internet, shrouded in layers of encryption and anonymity, lies a digital underworld. Here, away from the prying eyes of search engines and authorities, a different kind of society exists. It's a place where the illicit is commonplace. Drugs, weapons, stolen data, all are bought and sold with digital currency, their digital trails vanishing like whispers in the wind. But it's not just commerce that thrives in the dark web's shadowy alleys. It's also a haven for communities considered too extreme, too taboo, for the light of day. Among them was Cannibal Café, a digital gathering place for individuals harboring cannibalistic fantasies. Here they could shed the constraints of societal norms, sharing their darkest desires without fear of judgment, or so they thought. But the internet, even in its darkest recesses, is rarely a place of true anonymity. And as the case of Armin Meiwes would soon prove, the line between fantasy and reality could be terrifyingly thin. The dark web is a complex and layered network, accessible only through specific software like Tor, which masks the user's identity and location. This anonymity attracts a wide range of users, from privacy advocates and journalists to criminals and extremists. The dark web's allure lies in its promise of untraceable interactions, a digital Wild West where the rules of the surface web don't apply. But this freedom comes at a cost. The same anonymity that protects whistleblowers and political dissidents also shields those with more sinister intentions. Cannibal Café was one such dark corner of the web, a forum where users could discuss their macabre fantasies without fear of reprisal. The site operated under the belief that it was a safe space for like-minded individuals to explore their darkest thoughts. However, the boundary between fantasy and reality is often blurred in such environments. Armin Meiwes, a German computer repair technician, was one of the forum's most infamous members. His case would shock the world and bring the dark web's hidden horrors into the light. Meiwes posted an advertisement on Cannibal Café, seeking a willing volunteer to be slaughtered and consumed. Astonishingly, he found someone who agreed to his gruesome proposal. The two met in Meiwes' home where the horrific act was carried out, recorded on video for posterity. The case raised numerous ethical and legal questions, challenging the very nature of consent and the limits of personal freedom. It also highlighted the dark web's potential to facilitate real-world crimes, blurring the line between digital fantasy and reality. As authorities continue to grapple with the challenges posed by the dark web, the story of Cannibal Café serves as a grim reminder of the internet's darkest corners. The digital underbelly remains a place of both intrigue and danger, a shadowy realm where the boundaries of morality and legality are constantly tested. And as long as the dark web exists, so too will the stories that emerge from its depths, each more unsettling than the last. A pact forged in the dark, in the shadowy recesses of the internet where anonymity reigns supreme, a chilling agreement was made. Armin Meiwes was a man of seemingly ordinary existence. To his neighbors, he was just another face in the crowd, a man who lived a quiet life in a quiet town. A computer technician living in a quiet German town, he blended seamlessly into the background. His days were spent fixing computers. His nights, however, were a different story. But beneath the surface of normalcy lurked a horrifying obsession, an obsession that gnawed at him, consuming his thoughts and dreams. Meiwes craved human flesh, a desire so profound it consumed his every thought. It was a dark hunger that he could not escape, no matter how hard he tried. He turned to the internet, finding solace in the anonymity of online forums. The dark web became his refuge, a place where he could explore his darkest desires without fear of judgment. On the Cannibal Café, he discovered others who shared his disturbing appetite. It was a community of like-minded individuals, each with their own macabre fantasies. He posted an ad seeking a willing victim, someone who would consent to being killed and eaten. The ad was explicit, leaving no room for misinterpretation. To his surprise, he received a response. It was a moment that would change his life forever. Bernd Jürgen Brandes, a man grappling with his own demons, answered Meiwes' call. Brandes was a man tormented by his own dark desires, seeking an end to his suffering. He was, by all accounts, a willing participant in his own demise. The two men met, their fates intertwined by their shared darkness. Their agreement, documented in chilling detail through emails and chat logs, was a testament to the depths of human depravity. The messages were explicit, detailing every aspect of their gruesome plan. It was a pact forged in the darkest corner of the internet, a testament to the unsettling power of online anonymity. In the end, it was the anonymity that allowed their darkest desires to come to light, leading to a horrifying conclusion that would shock the world. Consuming desire, consenting to death. On March 9, 2001, Brandes traveled to Meiwes' farmhouse. The details of what transpired that day are too gruesome to recount here. Suffice it to say that Meiwes fulfilled his end of the pact, killing and consuming parts of Brandes' body. He filmed the entire ordeal, a chilling testament to their twisted agreement. When the authorities finally apprehended Meiwes, the world reeled in horror. The case became a media sensation, throwing a spotlight on the dark underbelly of the internet and the disturbing subculture it harbored. But the case was far from simple. It raised unsettling questions about consent and the boundaries of human desire. Could Brandes, in his right mind, consent to his own murder and consumption? Could such an act, even with consent, ever be considered anything other than murder? These questions lay at the heart of Meiwes' trial, a trial that would capture the world's attention and force a re-evaluation of the very definition of crime and